So our 5 characters here, Shion, Vish, Maple, Arlo, and Lim, they all came together at the start of this campaign, and their primary motivation from the start was to come to Prismere to find lost items, lost things that had been stolen from them by a collective of hags known as the Hourglass Coven. They have since, in the many adventures that have preceded this moment right here, gone through and done so, although probably just about in every case, the items that they have collected or found didn't turn up maybe exactly as they wanted or intended. For Vish, the tiny tools that you found were, as you remember them, and were in the hands of your grandfather, who's now miniaturized. I guess it's better than what your assumption prior to it was, that he was deceased. But turns out he's still alive, but he is still miniaturized, and so there is still that to deal with. Arlo, your item was the coffin that contained the ashes of your adopted son, and you found that memento of him around the neck of a toy, an animated doll that we call Pincushion, little rabbit, Harangon doll that is animated, and it seems is animated somehow through some enchantment, maybe tied to that object, and has been kind of hanging out with you throughout. Your understanding is that if you maybe removed the memento from its neck, that the doll would go dormant, and haven't really tested that out or done anything with that. And then Maple and Shion, you just recently acquired your items, although through some wheeling and dealing, it ended and resulted in Lim not having the ability to speak in common. And then maybe worth it. And then Lim is the only one who does not have her item. And that is because it was destroyed. A little hair doll, a memento from her true mother, who had made a deal with Endolin in exchange for giving up her place as your mother and placing Endolin as your mother. That was the memento that was sort of cemented that hag's deal, fey wish of hers, to keep you alive when you were sick as a kid. And so you had come to Prismere to recover that item, and it seemed that probably the only way that Endolin was going to give it to you was if you made some kind of promise with her. She wanted you to resume your place as her daughter and be raised in the ways of being a hag and continuing her lineage and whatnot, and you had no interest in that, and so she punished you by destroying it. And now, rather, one way or another, you are on your way to becoming a hag, and you are already rapidly feeling some changes, probably primarily with your personality at this point. Although you still are Lim, it's just you can feel these little pangs of anger or wicked thoughts that you're able to suppress for the most part right now. But you know that this change is going to rapidly happen. And so you all have decided to make your way to the Palace of Heart's Desire. You've heard much about Zybilnia, who was at one time the ruler of Prismere, and through some events, I'm not sure how much you necessarily understand about how these events came together, but Zybilnia is, to your understanding, indisposed somewhere here at the Palace of Heart's Desire. You are coming here, maybe not as prepared for this as you would have liked to have been. I think you all understand at this point that a unicorn's horn is an important item or maybe undoing the curse here. Whether you know how exactly that works, I'm not sure that you're quite there yet. But you don't have the unicorn's horn because it was taken by Kellic, a sorcerer who has a familial relationship with Maple and their half siblings. And you also know, I think, that Kellic is the gang leader, or whatever you want to call him, the leader of a gang called the League of Malevolence. And so they had come to Motherhorn in our previous session while you guys were all tied up dealing with the hags. Kellic made his move on Motherhorn to kidnap Skyla, who is the person that had that unicorn's horn. And so under the effects of a fly spell, they were able to kidnap her, and you saw them as they were departing, and they were very clearly heading to the center of Prismere where the Palace of Heart's Desire rests. You all have, at this point, you were badly injured and beaten up in your conflict with the hags. You took a long rest while you were yet in Motherhorn, and then you decided to talk to Charm and the Darkling merchants and persuaded her to give you all a lift to the palace. And so that is essentially where we are beginning. You've got the map up. I'm also going to just put up an image of the palace because there's probably going to be points here where I'm going to have to, in combination with the map, say, look at the image, and it'll help you to understand the map. Because there's a few times I had to do that where I'm looking at the map and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. But then when I look at the map, the illustration, it was like, okay, I can put that together. So this is the image of the palace as you were rolling up here. Just been dropped off by that merchant air balloon with the big storm cloud above it, tethered to the sort of, not exactly basket, but the shop that is tethered to it. You've been dropped off, and you now can see over a gate of silver. There's just beyond it, you can see through it. The gate is sort of barred, so you can look right through it, and you're looking out into this very lush green garden. Looks immaculate in terms of the hedges are all trimmed perfectly. There is statuary that kind of, very selectively kind of landscapes the area. Fountains, little cherubs and fey creatures shooting out water from their lips into stone basins, all of this kind of thing. And beyond all of that, you can see the palace itself, a very luxurious and magnificent palace of ivory topped with kind of this bluish purple shingles in plaster above. Many cases of stained glass windows, from which you don't see any light. There is also on the right-hand side what looks like one of the towers of the palace has been just like torn apart or lifted up by this gigantic beanstalk that seems to rise up out of like the roof of the palace. And so that's where we start. Right directly in front of you, as you are kind of getting your bearings, is a silvery gate that is pulled closed. So at this point, I'd say feel free to have any conversation that you might be having about what you're anticipating here, what you're thinking or feeling about Kellic, perhaps, and what his involvement in all of this is. Like, really whatever it is that you feel like you need to discuss before moving forward.
Did Kellic say he was going to the Palace of Heart's Desire or no? I feel like he shouted something before he left, but I can't remember.
I bolted him and he just said, well, we don't have time for this now, we'll see you later.
Oh, maybe that's what he said.
I mean, for sure you know that he's here. You saw him. You saw the gang fly in this direction.
Oh, okay.
And thus that's why you're here. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Do we...
Yeah, our goal is to assist Sibylna in escaping, or are we trying to just get the unicorn horn and then see what happens, or what do we think we should do here?
From what I remember, the unicorn horn can be used, but also could be used for the rocking horse, which did you take the rocking horse? Like,
yeah, like Pincushion is riding the rocking horse behind me. I'm just dragging him behind me with it.
Nice.
Child leash with a magical floating.
I don't know for certain.
So
with us, yeah.
So the rocking horse is essentially a magical item. It has a fly speed, and so you still would have needed the balloon for you all to fly here. It can fit one person, but I believe it's a fly speed of 60. Someone is riding it.
Okay. So we know that the unicorn horn possibly could fit on the rocking horse, but has definitely been connected to Sibylna, and something about Sibylna and or castle being frozen in some way. That's what I remember. And also Kellic is here.
Yeah, the unicorn horn was a part of the mechanism that was keeping her in the castle. So obviously there's some kind of mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
So we charge in, fire bolts ablazing, or whatever it is, magic missiles ablazing here, and we just pew 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 left and pew 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 right.
Now, I guess one thing I will say here is you're already a day behind Kellic.
Mm-hmm.
So, just keep that in mind as you are using resources that, maybe taking short rests and such would make sense, but taking a long rest would probably mean that Kellic is going to succeed at whatever he is aiming to do if he hasn't already.
Okay. That actually was going to be my next question. Does anyone remember, or did we ever learn what Kellic's goal is? I don't know if we did. I don't think so.
I just know we have to stop him. To save Prismir, we need the unicorn horn, and Kellic's not trying to save Prismir. That's as far as people got.
I mean, a guy who's part of the League of Malevolence probably doesn't want to save much.
It doesn't shine save, yeah.
League of Malevolence sounds kind of nice, though.
This is a subtle point, but you know that at least Endolin it seems like there was some relationship between them and the hags, and it seemed that Endolin was suspicious of them and was maybe trying to convince the others that it was time to put an end to their whatever arrangement that they had. I think you found a letter that she was penning to somebody, either one of the other sisters.
Oh yeah, the Secret Wishbone. I think that's how we learned about it.
Oh yeah.
Secret Wishbone.
Either way, it sounds like we gotta get in there.
We sure do.
Yeah.
Is this gate locked? I'm just gonna...
Is the gate locked? No. You go up. It's just sort of, just like an entrance kind of gate. There's no padlock on it. And so you could just move, the gate swings open for you.
I grab the both of them and I just swing them open. We're here.
Roll a dexterity check. No, I'm just kidding.
Let me see.
And then, would you like to move in a bit as you're just taking in the sights?
If possible,
You
I'm
have
gonna say, well, hold on a second. If actually, maybe if we might just hold on a moment, I might be able to see. And she's gonna kind of get this like, she's gonna get some of the twigs and kind of sand them up a bit and kind of make these really cool, like I don't know how, but she made these really cool kind of goggles out of them. She's gonna ritually cast detect magic just to see, kind of as she's moving around. She's saying she's going do 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 and looking around, but she's looking to see what she sees as she moves around.
Okay. And so those glasses basically allow you perpetually to have that
Mhm.
active? Is
Yeah.
that what it is? Okay.
It's just I just cast detect magic, but that's my flavor.
Oh, you're just casting. Okay. So, okay.
around his eyes that look like glasses.
There are glasses, but there's nothing there yet.
So you did a ritual cast, so for the next, is it 10
10
minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
No
I swing
problem.
open the gate and then stand there for 10 minutes. And then
Sorry about that, guys. Okay,
That's fine, that's fine.
almost
That makes sense.
ready. There we go.
okay, let's go.
As you move forward, you definitely are taking in the scents of roses and just sort of like all the floral scents that lilacs, all the floral scents that you'd expect to be overwhelmed with if you were in a very kind of floral garden like this. And ahead of you, I guess there's a couple of things that stand out. Directly to your right, you see this pavilion, just sort of, it almost looks like maybe something that maybe was plucked right from the Witchlight Carnival. This canopied pavilion with the tarp over the top of it, kind of tethered down and grounded into the earth nearby. And inside, kind of the raised up platform, you can see a picnic table covered with an emerald green cloth. And there is teapots and teacups and a big cake kind of laid out. And motionless around it are guests, silent, frozen. One's just got like its teacup raised up to its lips, looks like a human, in very, very garish, kind of gaudy, very, very bright colored clothing and such. And you also see like an elf, and there is a dwarf, or at least the body of a stocky dwarf, but no head. Which, it's not like a bloody stump or anything. It's just like,
Okay.
like there's just like flesh, like kind of molded like across the shoulders where the neck is, like kind of
Kind of like Sleepy Hollow, like you don't see anything gross, but there's not a head there.
yeah, almost like, I don't know, yeah, just like it's not gross or anything like that, but you know, just no head there. But the body is like, looks like performing or maybe enunciating or, you know, gesticulating, that like he was in conversation, maybe telling a roaring story or something. And so that's what you see in there, just from a quick glance. And then I guess right up in front of you over here is some standing stones, these big, tall, maybe 7 feet tall stones that are positioned around in a circle, moss covered a bit. And you can see arcane sigils inscripted on them.
Okay.
I definitely want to take a closer look at those.
You guys feel that? It's still kind of nice in here. It's pleasant. But it's frozen?
Smells like flowers.
He doesn't have a head. He doesn't have a head. I get behind Shion. He doesn't have a head.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
Hold on. Scanning. Do.
Sorry.
I'm looking at the the picnic areas or anything?
I'm gonna say just in general, there is sort of a magic shimmer really around everything.
Okay, she's gonna take off her glasses and say, I know what to expect, right? The whole thing is just magical. Oh, well, I'm gonna maybe there's something that might still help. I'll keep them for now. All right.
I mean, definitely as you're looking around, like every leaf is unmoving, even when you feel maybe a little bit of a breeze pass through here. There's a little stream that you can see kind of winding through the garden. The water is like perfectly still. Like there is no, again, like a breeze comes through, there's no ripple or anything that is blowing through here.
That's weird.
Well, remember they said that everything was frozen in time, so I'm guessing that this is what we're gonna see a lot of here.
As I visualized it, I was like, yeah, that would be really weird.
Yep, that's pretty weird.
So, when this guy without a head, can I manipulate? Can I pick up like a leaf or anything?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And I'm gonna put it over where his head should be and let go and see where it stops. Does it falls? Does it
So
fall
just
on-
imagine like where his neck should be. It's just like there's no head, but it's just flesh.
and it lands on that.
It just
Okay,
lands.
so
on
it's
that.
not that his
Yep.
it's not that his head's invisible. It's just not there.
It's not there, right?
I get back behind you.
Yeah, that's I haven't seen anything like this before.
That's not okay. I look the other
No,
way.
it's
Whatever's not in that
definitely
direction.
not. Well, that also means that somewhere along the way we're probably going to see heads.
Yep, that's yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Mm-hmm.
So be prepared for that. That's gonna be weird.
Lim is
picturing, like,
going.
green-
Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Lim is gonna take a leaf, and same thing that Maple did, but this time she's just gonna like pluck it from the tree and then drop it, and see does at any point does it refreeze or is it once it's been interrupted with it just goes.
It drop like you let it go, and it drops.
Okay. She's gonna go over to one of the individuals that's in the tent and give him a shove and see if that snaps him out of it.
Like frozen as they are, unmoving. They drop over, and yeah, let's just say it's like the human topples over, and like their glass of tea and everything in hand also topples over, but like no liquid pours out. And even with
Heard someone
like
doing that.
the little leaf that you plucked, when you drop it, it doesn't feel like it catches, like there's no resistance, like it doesn't float. It just kind of drops.
Oh, okay. I see. They'll be fine. And she pats the head. Her fingernails are looking a little gnarly as she pats the top of his head.
Would there I know with the spell I'm able to detect the School of Magic. Is there one here or not really much of is it or is
Enchantment.
it just like this enchantment? Okay. Alright. So it's definitely sounds
I would say, what is the range on it?
1 second. I will let you know. 30 feet
30 feet.
from me.
Probably you're picking up on a different school whenever you look over by the standing stones. Those detect as conjuration.
Okay. Well, definitely go conjuration over there.
We can like make things appear there.
Don't know about that, but there's magic over there. There's conjuration.
Well, isn't sure that's what that means.
Then no. You want to go see? Let's go do it.
We go try to conjure things.
Oh, let me
Anybody
see.
know any really fun like demon names or anything?
Well, actually, I would like to look at the stones before we do anything with them.
Okay.
Do I recognize any of the markings on them?
You can make a Arcana check.
Perfect.
That's a good plan. Good plan.
I'll assist.
Okay, you have advantage on that.
Okay.
Supposedly, I'm good at it. The rolls usually tell me otherwise.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not sure how to roll advantage, so I'm just gonna roll twice and we'll see what happens. How about
Sure.
that?
So, all of the sigils are on the inside of the stones, like facing the center. And you're fairly confident what this is would be. These stones are likely tied to, or could be tied to a conjuration or a teleportation circle. Now, you don't know the sequence of this particular one or where it would go, but
Sure.
that is what it is and what it could be used for.
I relay that in Sylvan. I don't know, it seems like some kind of teleportation circle, maybe? Maybe they can bring things in and out? That's kind of what I'm thinking. And these things that we're finding perhaps are things that they brought in? I don't know. I'm only supposing.
Well, either way, it looked like. I mean, it just seemed like everything is frozen right here, right? Like everything. Like they're frozen. They're probably having a little fun. So whatever did this, whenever it happened, it seems like we might come in contact with some things that might be just frozen in time, huh?
I think we're gonna see a lot of that here.
She's gonna one of the Arcana symbols. She's gonna not necessarily push it, but she's gonna wave her hand in front of it, see if anything happens. Like, is it like some type of like keypad type deal where?
No, it's probably more like you would almost have to like incant something to the sigil to
Okay.
activate it, and then like go to the next one and like do like some kind of a like Diablo 2, right? Like when
Oh,
when you
yeah.
find little standing stones that take you to Tristram, it's kind of like that. And there's probably either a password or a command word or an object or some combination that needs to happen to make it work.
So Maple was brought up in a barbarian clan where half of them learned magic and the other half learned how to fight it, and she's on the fight it side. And as everyone's playing in a teleportation circle, she's got one job: make sure everyone's in the circle, or make sure everyone's out of the circle. so just kind of herding, making sure that we're all together, so that not half of us go and half of us don't. That's all she really understands. Because she's like,
what
okay,
the-
if we're gonna teleport, we stay in. If we're not, we get out. What are we doing?
What's that over there? Maybe I should walk over here. I'll be right back.
Be careful.
Oh.
Don't go too stay together. Everyone stay 2x2 buddy system.
Okay. I guess I'm going back.
Shit.
I come out of this circle after I'm done looking at it.
So in the time that you all were checking that out, I think you probably hear something a little further ahead. Although there's a lot of bushes and trees and such, and so, you know, it's not like you have a lot of visual obstruction, so you can't really see what's producing the sound, but it's a female voice, and it's like the sound, it sounds like someone's like kind of like singing or humming, and they're just like la 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 la, yeah 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 yeah. And Lim, you're like, it sounds like your voice singing.
Huh. Now
I
feel
love
even-
this new voice of mine. It sounds so great.
Oh my god!
Thank you for this. Thank you.
Is that my comment? I say in Sylvan. Maybe not that loud, but she's gonna be like, wait a second.
Where did you
She-
find it? It's great.
I get it. I get it.
I don't
Maple's
even
eyes
mind
get
that it's a
real
female
wide.
voice. That's okay.
I'm gonna twist off Teak from the top of my staff, so he's there, and I'm going to instruct him to just kind of do like a little flyby of like the of just the grounds, and I'm gonna like hold on to Shion's sleeve since I won't be able to see anything while I'm looking through Teak.
Yep, that's fine.
So as Teak moves forward above the foliage and whatnot, you get a pretty clear view of this like perfectly still stream that's cutting through the garden, and up ahead there's like this marble fountain that's like situated right next to a bridge. It's kind of like the earth has been kind of molded to like become an incline, and then there's just sort of like a land bridge over the stream. It's the fountain's kind of near that. Seems like
Okay.
it's like the pathway directly to the palace.
Yeah, I can kind of see it in the art. It's a little dark, but yeah, I can see there's like this bridge and then like what looks like these little tail fin fountain things with the little rainbow.
Yeah, and actually the fountain itself, in the middle, it's just like little like woodland creatures, like there's a raccoon and like the water is like spraying from his mouth. It's like it's like three animals. It's like a raccoon, a badger, and a squirrel, and they all like the fountain is coming out of their mouths, but it's like perfectly still. And there's like it's kind of weird to look at because you've got sort of a light effect that's happening, but it's like a rainbow effect, but it's like, you know, it's like stuck
It's
there.
frozen. It's
Like
permanent.
it almost feels like a pane of glass or something that you could pull out of the air,
yeah.
and it would be like flat.
It's going to be partly translucent, but still not moving. Yeah.
So near this, what you see is there's a bear, and it looks like the bear is the thing that is syncing up with your voice. Like it's a big brown bear, and it is in conversation with this what is it? Human. Yeah, a human. The human is got a piece of parchment that it's holding up, and it seems like there's like a quill that's like magically writing. And so the human isn't actually speaking. They just have this like long scroll parchment that they're holding up, and it looks like the pen is like it'll like write a sentence and then stop, and then the bear is saying something, and then the quill like starts up again. Like there's some kind of like a back and forth conversation that is happening very bizarrely.
Huh. So and okay, it's a big brown bear, and then what does the human look like?
I would just say again, like big, puffy, kind of shoulder, silk clothes, like kind of that courtly garb. You know, like that's the type of thing that the frog people,
Okay.
the bullywugs, would have worn. Just overdressed nobility.
Huh. She described that back to like Shion to kind of get translated. Like, okay, there's two people. One looks like he's talking through a quill, but like I don't know if I should get that close. And the other one that is talking, that sounds a lot like me, is a big brown bear. And that's
You
what I
recognize
see.
the bear?
Yeah, like
What?
"Arr," like that. Like least threatening "Arr," ever. But yeah, like a bear, like an animal. It has my voice, my common voice. Maybe you can give it back. I don't know, but
That's
they're
very strange.
yeah, and
That's kind
I'm
of
sorry,
unnerving.
it's a little weird. And they're by the fountain, right? Or kind of like between the fountain and the bridge, kind of.
Yeah, I'm more or less hanging out more towards the fountain.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, she say that's where they are. I don't know if you want to talk to him, but that's where they are. They don't look threatening.
Okay.
I mean, besides the bear, because it's a bear. But it's talking nice. There's that.
Shion, what's she going on about?
yeah, what's the thing?
Go ahead and translate. She saw a bear and a person. The bear has her common voice, which is odd.
What?
Did you want to go over
Yes.
there? Do you want to go over there?
I don't know. Ask her. Do
Couldn't
you want to
hurt.
go over there? Want to go check it out?
Couldn't hurt.
All right.
Yeah, we can go check it out.
Dun,
We
dun, dun, dun,
move
dun.
ahead, and yeah, basically, like, kind of right over here is where that talking. And as you move up, the bear, like, the human's back is to you, and the bear sees you, and the bear just says, "Oh, hey, look, there's some people here that aren't frozen. Hi."
Hi.
You have my voice in Sylvan.
He just like cocks his head. Oh, oh. What is
You
she
don't understand
saying?
a word I say. No, I don't.
Yeah.
She has no idea what he's saying. She's just like, doesn't know what I'm saying. Of course I don't know what I'm saying. She's kind of having like a mini meltdown.
She's
You guys aren't
saying,
frozen either.
she's saying that you have her voice. In case you can tell, like, you sound exactly the same,
Oh, well,
like in different languages.
well, it certainly is a good voice, and I'm glad I came upon it. I was just telling my friend here who got it for me that I'm real thankful for it, because we've been hanging out a long time, and before I was just a bear. I was a smart bear, though. I understood everything that she was saying, but I didn't really have a way to talk back, because, you know, being a bear, I can't really, like, grab and write stuff. It's sort of hard with these paws.
I see. So, and I bet you probably get misunderstood quite often. You know, you're not
Oh.
trying to be big and scary, but you come across as big and scary because you can't use your words.
Well, that's right. And, you know, I'm here basically because I want to ask Zybilnia for a wish. And I didn't know if she spoke bear. So I thought it was important for me maybe to get...
Oh, well, I see. What's the wish that you're gonna wish for?
Oh, well, I just want to be able to eat fish again. Yeah, I got a curse placed on me by a mean old fish where I'm from. Maybe I ate too many of them, or ate a family member or some such. But it's like my favorite thing to eat.
It's like when I close my eyes. Don't go on.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's it. I just want to eat. I want to be able to eat fish again.
And who's your friend there?
Oh, well, my friend here, well, her name is, let me see if I can pronounce it with, it's Majera. And the person nods. Now, she was, we become kind of friends, you see, because we came here and everybody's frozen, and we were the only two that are not frozen, so we kind of start to hang out a little bit, waiting for Zybilnia to come back, but we can't really talk to each other. So Majera here, she went and found me a voice so we could talk. It seems that she had to give up her own voice or something in order to get it. But luckily, she's got this handy parchment, so we're making it work.
That is kind of cool. So Majera sacrificed her own voice for you
And
to
you
get
could
Slim's voice to give you a voice.
just see like the scroll little quill just says that is correct.
That is awfully selfless of you.
Lim's like grumbling like a child in the background. It's all nonsense, but you can tell it's just like.
So, are you all here to come see Zybilnia too?
Yeah. Why not?
Yes.
What the hold up? Why haven't you already seen them?
Well, we were told, we went up to the gate up there, and they said that she's busy right now, but that we could wait here in the garden.
See, how long ago was that?
Feels like it's been a really long time.
Did they say, like, give you, like, a number to come back and check on, or do you just...
No.
Did you can check since to see if she's there?
Well, actually, those guys, they just passed through here, and we said, hey, how much longer do you think? And they gave us sort of a rude gesture. They were carrying this, like, other lady. It was all painted up with kind of makeup.
Yeah.
And she was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, Bruno, yeah.
yeah,
Which way did they go?
oh, they went right up them stairs there, over to that palace.
Oh, shucks, you don't say. Well, I guess we should head that way then, you know. Maybe they're going to see her, you know. We could go that way.
Lim's making like the.
Yeah.
just starts doing a little jog.
You guys want to come with us and see what happens, or?
Oh. Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. We could go with you, don't you think, Marjorie? And then you see she's like wildly gesturing, and she's like pointing up. And what
Okay,
the hell does
use your
that
word.
mean? What is?
Use your words.
You look up. Is there something crazy up there?
In the parchment, it's like in all capital letters. It says Jabberwock.
Oh, why?
And you look up,
What?
and you see this thing crawling around on the outside of the center spire.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just sort of making this like terrible screeching noise as it's skittering about, just like round and round in a circle, just kind of climbing and maneuvering around the crenellations of the different turrets that jut out from the main central tower. And you can
So it's not
like no, it doesn't seem like it's
attacking us, is it?
it's not imminently like flying down or anything, but it is a gargantuan of a dragon that is just skittering about. You can see like little pieces of the like stonework kind of coming undone and just kind of falling in a weird way that doesn't quite match how your perception of gravity, how that should work. And you can hear like Squirt is like rattling on top of Vish's head, like, oh, there he is. That's the one that killed my master.
Oh.
That's what we got attacked by. Let's gotta go. We gotta go.
What those things? There were a lot.
But
Quiet. It's
by the
okay.
lake. By the lake.
I see why that would change your mind. Yeah.
Don't look. It's okay. I'm here with you. Feel my warm hand.
How did we
It's
not see this
okay.
thing like?
You never
Seems like a
knew.
detail we should have. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
we
you're-
were distracted.
Your sense based on
We were a
their
little occupied.
your sense based on their reaction is it probably wasn't there a second ago.
Interesting.
Huh.
How did
Well,
you
we're
know
still
that
gonna
was
go. Do you
called
guys
a
wanna come?
Jabberwock?
Yeah, they're like booking it, like they're running basically towards the palace. So
By the time Maple looks down, it's like, oh, okay.
and so you're all drawing closer to the palace as well. And you make your way up here. And you can see maybe the bear is kind of pounding on this front door here, and the Majera is like trying the handles of the door as well. It appears that it maybe is locked. And as soon as they try that, you see them kind of moving this way, and they're like kind of gesturing to follow them.
Is there a way in over there?
And the bear says, "Yeah, there's another set of doors over here."
Yeah.
I'll bring up the rear. Come on, guys. Come on.
Cool.
I would look to Shion and just kind of be like, should I do the knock spell thing or
Not yet.
not yet? Okay.
Let's see. Woo Man just redeemed by player reroll. So one
Woo.
player reroll in the tank to start things
Woo,
off.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then the pair of them, Majera is opening this door and this set of doors, and it opens.
Ooh.
Able to make your way inside here and close the doors behind.
Oh my goodness.
Second, as you pour into this room, what you can see right in front of you is a crystal carriage that is hitched to a pair of glass Pegasi. And their wings appear to be woven of silk, different colored silk. And it is very almost like an art piece, but you get the sense that its wheels and everything, like it is functional, and the doors and everything, like it isn't just ornamental. It's in some way is functional. And then there's pairs of kind of pearlescent stone doors over here and over here.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's really pretty.
Check out her
Wow.
ride, man. Oh.
A little gaudy.
Mm.
She's gonna just kind of scamper over and peek in.
As you peek in, you can see that there is it's almost like an orbital crystal, like it's like a sphere, and at the front end it looks like there's like a seat for like the driver to be, and then the back seat is just kind of this plush red velvet seat that could probably fit probably like two people at most. And then sitting there on top of the cushions, you see this looks like a crystalline key of some sort.
They left their keys in the carriage.
Right.
She's gonna try to see if she can open up the door.
The carriage doors appear to be locked.
Mm.
Oh,
They might need to call a service to get that out.
What if that key opens other stuff?
I think I had a good idea, maybe.
Well, and you can see her. She's getting her staff, and she's kind of like reeling up, getting ready to see if she can break the door open. And if no one stops her, she probably would try
to
to
do that. Nope, you don't
No.
want to do that. No,
What? No.
no, you can't. You can't smack it. That's not a good idea.
Fine.
Maybe it's magically locked.
But the key. It's a
We
special
can
key.
get that without smashing it.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, you and I can
Use
both
your
do that.
Really loud magic.
It is really
It's also,
loud.
yeah, that's the problem. It's gonna.
That's okay.
I think we should look around before we decide to grab a key.
Dude,
But mental note. it is-
I'm assuming my detect magic is gone by now. Right? Or not yet?
Yeah, probably at this point. So if you want to re-up it, you just spend another 10 minutes.
Okay. As soon as they started talking and we got in this room, I'm gonna start trying to ritually cast this thing again.
Okay.
You see me just kind of winding back up the goggles.
Anything that
I will do
anybody wants
visual.
to do in that 10 minutes?
I'm gonna just talk to the bear for a second. How are you in a fight?
Well, a fight? I'm not
Well,
much of.
sometimes
Is it
we get in
against a
fights.
big giant fish? Then I'm all in.
How's your imagination? Because you could imagine it's a big giant fish. Sometimes we get into fights. I was just curious.
Why?
I don't know
Are
if
you
the
guys a
villain
bunch of
needs help.
jerks? Am I hanging out with a bunch of jerks right now?
No, I think we're gonna bump into a bunch of jerks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, what
don't
is
think
your
civilians okay.
qualification of a jerk? Because if you're getting in all the fights, maybe it's a you thing and not a everyone else thing, huh?
I think the guy you saw earlier holding the lady and heading in here is
Oh.
up to no good.
You know, I was getting jerk vibes from him from the beginning.
I gave him those jerk vibes.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Class A mega jerk.
Well, fight him?
I think
He's kind of scary, honestly.
he is. I just think he's gonna try to hurt Sibilia, and she needs help. That's what I think's happening.
Okay. Well,
Just curious.
I'll tell you what. I'm a pretty free-thinking bear. If I think that you have good reason to get in a fight and I'm with you, maybe.
I go to fist bump him.
Gives you the claw.
All right.
And 10 minutes.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Yeah, that takes like 30 seconds, and then she's like quiet for a second, and she goes, "Oh, but this takes like 10 minutes. We got time."
Yeah, sure. That's the...
So, Detect Magic is
Look
back
at the-
up.
Oh, sorry.
And I would say again enchantment magic. Just sort of pervasive around everything as a result of everything being frozen, but maybe even a little bit more of a magnitude. Like
Okay.
more of a glow around the carriage.
Okay. Someone actively, let me see. Yeah. Someone actively put this something here to maybe protect the carriage a little bit more than everything else. Zzz. She's making all these. This nothing's happening.
Yes, I was just saying, do you have to make those noises while you do that for it to work?
I
or-
love that.
Yes.
Hello.
I do look for magical markings or sigils on the horse or carriage or anything in that general vicinity.
Nope, don't find anything like that.
And the key itself, does it even look even more like it's just like super magic?
I would say it's probably got about the same aura as the carriage itself.
Okay. All right. Well, there is something here. I don't know if I can necessarily get rid of the magic here, but there is something here. If we don't know, and we don't want to hurt, then maybe we just continue.
I think we want that key.
But I
I
mean,
think we don't need to make the announcement that we're here yet.
Oh, Kellic knows we're here.
Are you certain of that?
Yeah. The big monster shows up at exactly the right.
You're saying you think the Jabberwock was a spy?
I think
I
it's
could
one
see
of those
that.
conjure things. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Alright, Lim. Do you want to go
Alright.
ahead and make our announcement that we're here?
Yeah.
Do it.
She's
Go
gonna
ahead and
kind of.
do it.
She's gonna do like a wind up as if she's gonna like throw a softball, and then when she comes in, she's gonna boop the door and just knock, knock, knock. You hear like a really loud knock.
Oh, you're casting knock. Okay, yeah. The carriage door like kind of pops open, and it makes a loud noise. Yep.
Cool.
And you could definitely just reach in and grab that key.
Unceremoniously, she's just gonna go foop and reach the key and slams the door.
Wait. shut the door.
Oh,
She already shut the door.
I think it. I mean, if you told me to wait, she'd wait. But I don't think it. I think it remains unlocked until 10 minutes is over.
Okay, well, I was gonna say, just for giggles, try sitting on the driver's side and see what happens. Or I will.
Oh, from the inside?
Mm-mm.
Yep.
Oh, okay. She climbs in and tries to open from the inside.
Nope. Maple's out of that.
So you climb into the front seat, and you're probably getting ready to look for a place to put the key. And right in front of you, kind of like kind of where the gold kind of undercarriages, you see that there is a keyhole there that seems to perfectly line up with the crystal. You plug that in and turn it, and then suddenly, like out of nowhere, there's like rains in your hands they're kind of spectral and almost like kind of prismatic. Like you're just holding on to pure light, and it goes from you're inside the orb with those rains in your hands, and the light goes through the crystal out to where the Pegasi are, and they start to animate.
Guys,
That's what I was wondering.
I have the power.
That's gonna be important later.
When we make our escape.
Yep.
All right.
That's what I'm thinking. Power down, put the key somewhere safe. Somewhere very, very safe that it can't break.
Low rider. It's a little.
Escape hatch.
So, I guess at that point, now she knows what that does. She'd turn, remove, and maybe like put it on like in a little side pouch thing and kind of give it a pat, thumbs up. And if time allows, she'd probably take the time to like look around, see if there's anything, between the cushions, like falling under the seat, and there's nothing else, and get out.
I'm going to say probably at this moment you hear a high-pitched shrill shriek coming from the north.
Yes, it's coming!
Time to pile in. Yeah, do we pile in or do we go somewhere else?
I think we need to get going. I don't know if we pile in.
So just in case, I'm not sure if you're misinterpreting what I just said, like a voice, like someone screaming for help.
Oh.
Okay.
We thought
like the
Jabberwock.
shrieking the Jabberwock.
Not the Jabberwock.
Okay.
Shrieking the Jabberwock. Okay. Well, in that case, no, we don't pile in. We head further in.
To the north. Yes.
So you move
She's
ahead.
gonna be like, "Goodbye, my sweet," and then leaves the carriage.
Bring the key.
Oh yeah, I got it. I got the key.
All right.
Keep that safe.
You open these doors. And what you see in front of you is a long hallway. And running the length of it is a rug woven with images of thorny white roses. And there are a number of doors that you see here. These doors right here are currently, one of them is like ajar a bit. And that is the direction that you hear this call. Like, please, somebody help! Help!
No, I'll head over and just open up those doors and try to get a peek at what's going on in there.
Okay. As you cross over there to take a peek, so this is probably the moment that I'm going to set us up to be in initiative because the rug is going to attack you.
I was gonna kick the damn rug. I was like, I want to kick it before we go. But
Maple wouldn't have thought of that.
1 second.
We've encountered too many animated rugs in the past.
Like all I had in my head was that when we were trying to get the kids out, and that the rug. Oh.
All right, real quick. This will be on Maple. Yes, surprise advantage? I think it is, isn't it? I'm going to say yes.
I believe
you. You kind of kick up your feet as it starts to animate and move and try to grab hold of you. And go ahead and roll initiative.
Was that a 15 to attack?
Yes.
It hits her because she doesn't have her shield equipped, so her AC is a 14 out of 16.
Oh, okay.
That's
let's see. It grapples you then.
Yep. I wasn't fast enough to take the shield off. Sorry.
So the rug, as you're like moving forward, and so this is kind of the setup. So you go to the door and you get to the door and you can see inside. What you see is that inside this tower, again, everything sort of appears frozen. There are 5 cages that hang from various lengths of chain from far up. You can't really, until you step in there, probably see the heights of the tower itself. But just from where you're standing, you can see these cages. There is one that seems to have a cloaked human in it. He's frozen, motionless, just like the figures you saw out in the garden. There's another humanoid-looking fella who also is held. You see, kind of floating mid-air, there's a number of pixies that are, their wings aren't flapping or anything, but they're just suspended basically in air, stuck. And this cage at the far back here, you can see that one is actively lowering. And inside is the individual that you know as Charmé. And she's rattling the cage, and she's not frozen. And she's the one that's crying out for help. Towards the back of the chamber, over here, you can see that there are 5 levers jutting out from the wall. So I think that probably gives you everything you need to know. And we are starting things off with Vish.
Oh. Vish is I guess gonna try to hit this rug.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Kind of just like the corner of it has like wrapped up around Maple.
All right, I'm gonna try to hit the part of it that's not wrapped up. Maple. Okay, let me go. Let me get the. Actually, I could just do it right on there. We'll go ahead and do a gauntlet attack. Here we go.
That will hit.
Nice.
All right. And we will be sharing that a bit. Maple, if you want to take.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. The full damage was 8 thunder. Is that right on that first thing? Okay. So you can take 4 of that.
Would I be able to see with just that first punch that Maple's taking some of that damage? Like I'm actually kind of, or no? Would I be able to tell? Hit it harder. Okay.
How about this? Just because it was rolled already, give me a perception check, and we'll use that to determine.
Sounds good.
I was hoping it was lightning damage, but it's thunder.
Thunder. Oh, great. 5.
You
didn't quite notice it in time.
Okay. So yeah,
so you'll take.
Harder, and I just went big ol' uppercut right.
So Maple, you can take 5 of that second one there.
5, so I'm up to all right.
All right. I would say at the end of your round, as maybe Maple vocalizes that that they're hurting, then you know.
Okay, sounds good. Bonus action, I'm gonna just give myself some temp hit points for now. That'll be it.
All right. Next up is Shion.
Since I can aim, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Magic Missile at the carpet, not at Maple.
Sounds good.
Sweet.
All right, so total of 11 points.
Yep.
Maple, take 5 of that.
Done. Harder!
Harder?
I can't believe I fell for this crap!
Arlo, it's your turn.
I'm gonna hit the carpet
Oh no.
many times. Sorry.
That'll hit.
Go low damages. Just
Right.
get all of these in there, and you can give them the damage in a second here.
And then, let's see. Maple, if you take 2 of that first one. Oh. And 2 from the second one.
And then I kick it. 17 hits, yes, okay. There you go. See, not
Each
much.
one.
And then
The
2
most
from
amount of
that
damage
one.
I could have done to you.
I take 6 altogether.
Yep.
All right. Harlow's being as careful as he can.
Okay. Did that
Actually, hear Maple.
That hurt. That hurt.
Next up is Lim.
Lynn is going to instruct Teak, who would probably be sitting on her horn, to stay in the area, just kind of fly around. And she's going to disengage and start going into this room. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. There you go. And she's gonna be like grumbling under her breath, like, can't focus with all this screaming, and start making her way around to the lever.
Sounds good.
Yes. That is it.
Oh, and I heard a ding in my ear. Looks like Sith Lord Dave just redeemed by everyone a reroll and a DM a reroll. So you all have 6 rerolls and 1
Ooh.
for me.
I definitely need to something. For Maple.
Maple, it is your turn. You're grappled and restrained
And raging.
and raging.
As I rage, I'm gonna do some lightning damage to the rug. Storm aura. I guess it makes a deck save. DC 14.
Makes that.
So it takes half of a D6 lightning. So we both probably take 1.
1 point. Yep.
And I'm resistant to it, but I still take 1. So that was just fun. A little bit of lightning shoots out for no reason. And then I'd like to get out of the rug, please.
All right. Let's see. I think it's a DC 13 escape.
Is it athletics?
Yep. Could be or acrobatics.
Yeah.
And so you made it to sneak away and get out.
We'll try to violently throw it over there. And that was my first attack. So my second one would be to hit it with my battle axe, please.
That will take your full action to escape.
Okay.
And that will bring us to the rug, who is just going to try to grapple you up again. And gets a crit. Pulls you back in.
If it's an attack roll, it's at disadvantage.
Oh, it'll do that to you then. If
Okay.
you're the thing, you have an ability. So you are restrained.
Ouch. Okay, it worked.
If that wasn't the fish. No.
Oh, sorry. Just to go back a step to Maple, at the start of your turn, you would have taken 10 points from the smother.
Ooh. And that was before I could use my bonus action to rage. So it's
Yeah.
just 10 points.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
So that's the top. Right here, these doors to the north open up. And you see standing there someone that Shion and Maple had seen moments before Charmaine had been abducted at Motherhorn. This fellow, very much maybe a bit of a necromancer kind of feel, and a cobra looking staff wielded. He's going to attack, and he's going to shoot off a spell at Shion. Not exactly a spell. Sorry, this is moving slowly today. Ranged spell attack.
It looks like a big map. I imagine it's a little chunky.
That could be what it is. So kind of this like sickly looking. Ooh, I better use that DM reroll that the chat generously gave me.
No, I don't need to do that. No, you sure don't.
Oh, turned that around.
Oh, ouch.
I'm sorry, Deathly Ray?
Deathly Ray does 54 points of necrotic damage. Jesus.
Dear Lord.
Get an opportunity to save.
No,
It's
it's
a
just
save.
it's not a save, it's a attack roll.
Wow. Balls. Okay, I'm down.
All right. The cage inside the tower, the cage that Charmaine is in, drops down even further, and it's just like inches above this bubbling green pool. And she's just frantically like kind of pleading, probably looking right at you, Lim, and just like the middle lever. It's the middle lever. That brings us to the top. Vish, it is your turn.
Take 10 points of smothering damage.
10 points. Yep, thank you.
10 points. Okay, I'll take it. I am restrained. Either way, I would like to, because I wanted to try this and might as well try it now. I'm going to cast a gush of wind in that direction from where I am towards those, all the way from here all the way to the doors where he is in that straight line.
Okay.
I'm going to try to push this thing that's on me 15 feet away from me, as well as probably try to close that door.
All right. Door gets closed. And is it strength save? Or?
Strength save for the two creatures, for him and for the rug. And it's against my, I guess I can put that up. Gust of wind,
A 14 and a 19. Okay. So you manage to, as you cast it, like the rug kind of unravels itself and gets pushed off of you.
Oh, good. All
Takes
right.
the grapple.
All right, great. So that thing gets pushed 15 feet back, and the doors close. Oof. Wow, yeah.
All right. That will bring us to Shion. Death save, it sounds like. Wow, is 30 your hit point max? That was almost like a crushing blow. Okay, one success. Next up we have Arlo.
Oh, the decisions here. I think I'm just gonna run back up to the carpet and keep hitting it. So I'm gonna go to here. Yeah, this map is taking a bit for me to do stuff on as well. But I'll just move right up to it and back once. And my fantasy grounds is going super slow, so it's not moving my character. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's not opening my sheet up yet either, or trying to switch over to my sheet just so I can just do the attacks. And then I'll move at some point after. But yeah, just going to here, backing it.
That hits.
Okay. Let's do better than last time, shall we?
That's
With
much
this
better.
damage.
That one
Missed it
misses.
with
Unless
that
you
one.
got 6 rerolls if you want to use a reroll.
Ah, why not? I'll use a
Use it.
reroll.
There you go.
Nice.
Yep. And then with my unarmed strike, I will kick it. It almost flipped onto the 5 side. I don't know if you could see that animation. It was close. But yeah, so that's it for my turn. I'll try to get my character moved up here at some point.
Sure. So the rug had just like kind of taken from the winds of Vish's spell. It's still like kind of animated up in the air, and you just go bam, bam. You're hitting it with all this bludgeoning damage. You could see like kind of the threads kind of stretching and kind of wearing thin in certain places, almost where you can almost see through because the light is penetrating through the fabrics. It looks like it's pretty worn down. Still up as we turn to Lim.
Okay. Lim is going to, yeah, she's going to cast haste on herself, and so that should bring her 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. if that's close enough for her to try to hit one of the levers, she'll reach for the lever. But if not, she will use her second action to instruct Teak to use Shocking Grasp on the dude.
Okay.
Because it's like right on the edge, so I don't actually know if she's able to reach to that square and like hit it.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be an ability check because it's that like it's technically outside of your speed, but given that you know that in a matter of seconds she's gonna plunge into that green liquid and you don't know what happens after that.
Okay.
Like it's
Then
it's like she's being like dipped into that stuff from Roger Rabbit. It's like acidic and bubbling, or
it's the goo or whatever they called it. The dip.
Yeah. At least it looks like it had been bubbling before time froze, but it's still there. And I don't know that any of you have played with liquids yet in here and like how that works. So anyway, you got something?
We'll know that. Well, because I tipped the dude over who was holding his teacup and everything stayed where it was, but that doesn't tell us if things go into the liquid and like how that works.
Right.
So never mind. Sorry to interrupt you.
So I'm gonna say it's an acrobatics check to see if in this last 5 feet of movement, if you can lunge and grab the thing and pull it.
Okay.
DC 13.
Okay. Okay. So acrobatics. I wanted to double check the haste, but it's for dexterity saving throws, so not for acrobatics. All right, here we go. Hold your horses, Charmaine.
All right.
There it is.
You dive.
Nice.
You grab the handle,
Nice.
and you can hear some kind of clamp or something, some machinery up top, like tighten up around the chain, and the whole thing just kind of jerks, and you can just see her like kind of like let out a sigh of relief, and she's just like, "Thank you, Mother."
I'm not your mother. She's gonna...
And she just like looks out. She's like, "You're like related or something, aren't you? Or not yet? I don't know."
Thank me, not. Anyway, just hang still for a minute. There's a fight happening. That's all she can do.
I've been ignoring the chat here a bit. Thanks, Dave, for the cheer. Thank you for the DM reroll, and thanks, Lyra Lou, for the healing potion. We'll say Charmaine like tosses that out to you, Lim, and she says, just in case, the League of Malevolence is everywhere. Maple, it is your turn.
Okay. Let's have the rug make a save as lightning flies out of me on my way to the rug.
Thanks for the raid.
Ooh,
I'm Butterbean.
Goodman Games Official just rated the channel with 14 viewers. Thank you so much. Make my dex save and then... okay, so that's a fail, so roll your damage. Thanks, Raiders, for joining us here tonight. We are in the final episodes of our Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign. We've got a big battle happening here. We've got an animated rug. We've got sacrifices to some kind of gnarly green dip a la Roger Rabbit. And we've got a warlock on the other end of the corridor. All this chaos happening in the midst of this battle. So looks like that was 3 points of lightning damage. Okay.
And I'm trying to move up. I think I might be locked.
You're... maybe just move your token out a bit, and then it might be getting caught on the wall or something. Not working.
Can you move?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, just a little choppy. Get to here.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's got to be this map is just a little overbooked and there's a lot of things happening.
Anyway, and I start swinging.
All right.
it's so close.
No one's tried to ride the rug yet, but they did find something that they probably suspect is a flying vehicle, and they have the key.
Natural 1. I'll re-roll that. We don't
Re-roll?
have time for this. Yep. 2.
All right, unfortunately that one doesn't hit. The rug will attempt a smother on maybe Arlo, and that will miss.
Just one thing. At the start of its turn, it has to make a strength saving throw or continue to be pushed 15 feet back.
Okay. Are other people also in the radius of the effect of that then?
I did a 10-foot one, so it would be pretty much. I'm gonna say it's from me. It's the double doors down. That row.
Oh, I
I'm gonna
gotcha.
say.
Let's see. Let's see.
But if we all did go flying, that would be almost like a, magic carpet ride
It would be.
on the
We
wind.
should sing.
I can show you the world.
All right, it's kind of in your space as it kind of flies and kind of gets. I guess in that case it would have attacked you, Maple, but it still would have been a miss. And then next up is the doors open. And Zargosh is there.
When the doors open, he will have to make a strength saving throw.
All right, he will fail. He gets pushed back 10
15 feet.
or 15. And he will shoot the death ray at Vish.
I'm sure.
Hold on, I just gotta make sure he can do that. Yes.
No. Hope it's not too strong.
Reroll.
Have reroll still?
Thought you already used yours.
I got another one.
Oh.
Here you announce another one. Oh, there was no other one.
That's why I thanked DM Dave or Sith
Thanks,
Lord
DM
Dave.
Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, real cool, DM Dave.
Dave.
And look at that.
Jeez.
Shit.
Sugar
Jeez.
pops.
You really got your money out of those 2 rerolls,
I
huh?
did.
Those took turn to crits.
Oy vey!
Oh,
Oi, Vish!
same thing.
Oi, Vish!
Fish! Get up, Fish!
Up.
All right, top of the order. Vish, it's your
Ow.
turn.
Oh, can't
Oh, I guess you have to
Did
do
it
an
automatically do it?
insane concentration check, right? Did it automatically do it?
Oh yeah, isn't that gonna add like 20?
Yeah, the DC.
Concentration check, DC 22.
You know what? I'm gonna use one of my features that as I fall down,
Yes.
or as I have one of the levers kind of pop up out of my thing, and I could use one of my features to
genius.
kind of. Should I not? Should I fail this concentration check? It's gonna succeed. Should I
Okay.
roll?
Is it possible? I mean, it might be possible to make that.
22.
still alive
Genius
after
brings it
that,
to
though?
18.
I am still up because I had some 10 hit points.
Wow.
Nope.
Oh, as it happens, the lever comes out and it's like a slot machine. Ding, 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 ding. As the wind keeps on going from me.
The noisiest concentration check.
needs things to be loud to concentrate, you know? It's a little different than other people.
It's the opposite. Yeah, like I was talking about someone else when you have to change lanes, and normally you would turn down the radio. Vish would turn it up higher to concentrate a little bit more.
I don't think I'd ever want Vish to be driving a car.
Me neither. Maybe it'll be okay. So yeah, I guess I'm still up.
Still up, still have the gust of wind concentrating,
Mhm.
and it's your turn.
Hey. Well. I didn't like that. That was ouchy.
I would
Let's
say
see.
Zargash would probably step up. You just see him duck around the corner there. It looks like there's some steps.
Okay. If possible, I guess with that still going, is still control that doing the would she like with that gust still be able to kind of like with the doors close automatically, or at this
Yeah,
point, did they probably break? Okay, so they're closed again, at least. Okay, that's good. I guess I'm gonna continue to concentrate on that spell for now. And Shion, you are down, aren't you?
For sure.
I'm gonna move back slightly, and kind of still one arm kind of out, just blowing. She's gonna go, and instead of going for her normal snot rag that she always has, it's gonna be this very like pristine like jar of liquid that she goes and kind of as she's going, she's gonna go and just dip a little bit and kind of just like pat gently on your forehead, and she's gonna cast Cure Wounds. This beautiful like Arctic water just kind of brings you back.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's refreshing. I'll roll that for you. And bonus action, I am going to give myself some more hit points. 10 hit points back, because who knows at this point. And that will be it for now.
So how much did you end up healing me?
One second, I'm giving you that. All right.
Thanks.
You will be getting back. Sorry, it takes me a lot longer to find things, and
That's cool.
7 points of healing.
Awesome. So I'll be down 23. Okay.
All right. Any movement, Vish?
Just movement back. I don't want to move too far away because I'll stay here. Because either way, I'm still kind of just keeping that wind going in that direction right now.
Shion, you are now up. You could use half your movement to stand.
He'll definitely do that. And let's see here. So Rug is still flying around, right?
Yeah, Rug is still up.
So I'm Pete at the Rug, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll magic missile at the Rug. This time the Rug will take all the damages. In theory.
Yep, it doesn't have anyone grappled, so
Correct.
so those 3 orbs of light go sailing forward, pierce right through the fabric, and the whole thing just disheveled mess slumps down to the ground and ceases to move.
Good.
Arlo.
Alright, well then I think what I'm gonna do is kind of want to like jump into the wind stream and just sort of float up to the left side of the double doors and ready like an attack for when he opens it. I just want to ready like a.
Ooh,
I'm gonna like jump out there and I'm gonna ride the wind up to the door, and then just kind of crouch and wait.
Sounds good.
And also, would you be able to move my token because
Yeah,
I'm really struggling with it?
Yeah, no problem. So, I'm kind of struggling here too. There we go. Lim, it is your turn.
Okay, she is going to. Whew, yeah, I'm feeling it too. Gonna try to move around the ring. She might need to dash, but I want to see how far she can get. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. 5, 60. Alright, that checks out. Oh, that's right. The dude's behind the door. Alright, then so yeah, she's gonna use a dash action. And another. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. Screech! Hey guys. What's happening? Oh,
not much. There's somebody doing it up by there.
We killed the rug.
The rug.
very nice. Teak, ride that windstream and help Arlo out when he needs it. And Teak's gonna go
All right,
gonna
peeks up
fly
there.
on next. Yeah. I guess that's it for now.
Maple.
Careful of the guy behind the door.
Oh yeah. I'm also struggling. Can I use a just item interaction to open the door?
Yeah.
I swing the door open.
Oh.
All right.
I forgot with the double action. Is it okay for that for the second action if I use that for dodge?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that.
You open it up. You see a hallway before you. Double doors here. Double doors here. And it seems like many other options and choices to make down further. Don't see the guy.
She kind of rages to the first door, try to swing it open, and she'll count down after that, I guess.
Okay.
I'll try to open this first door. Maybe he got lucky and got in there.
And you go to try to open it, and it's locked. And at this point, I'm going to say we're out of initiative.
Okay. Ooh.
We'll get
Well,
him
that
next
was
time, Arlo.
painful. Oh. Thank you for your healing, Vish.
Just shooting like
No
beams
problem.
rays out of his hands. That's crazy.
Stupid rug.
Gonna close her fist and the wind stopped.
Oh yeah, Charmaine's in the cage. I stopped it.
Oh,
Should we let her out of the cage then, or?
It's over
That
goo, so we might need a maple. It's over the dip.
No, I'll see what I can. I walk around what's left of the rug carefully this time, which, and I'll head over to the door and see if we can help her out.
Yeah, you can easily kind of like fly up and just a bit and grab the chain and kind of swing it over. There's a bit of a locking, like a little simple padlock, but you're gonna be able to bust that open or something and get her out. So we'll just say that happens, and she climbs out of the cage, and she looks a little rough. She looks like she's a bit bruised, and she tells you that for since they arrived here at the palace, like half a day ago or so, they have been Zargosh has been interrogating her, trying to ply her for information about the Hourglass Coven and what their plans are. Skyla doesn't really know too much. She was hiding out at Motherhorn, but it's not as if she wasn't like in Endelin's good graces or anything like that. And Skyla says, They got it. They have the unicorn horn. Good for me.
Yeah, I know. What are they gonna do with it?
My best guess is that he's going to use it to get finally the thing that he's always been after, and that is Ringelrun's staff. Using the unicorn's horn, it has the power to undo this enchantment. You've noticed it, I'm sure. The enchantment that is pervasive throughout here that freezes everything. This whole place is just frozen in time. Using the unicorn
that?
horn, if you
Come on
know
here.
the true name of something that is frozen, you can use it to touch that person, say their name, and unfreeze them. I believe that's why he's been searching for it. Ringelrun is here. They're rivals. What I understand. He never said a nice word about him since I joined up with the League.
He was here. That's exciting.
Slow turn to. What?
My papa.
Single run?
My papa's Ringelrun. He's here.
Papa, yeah.
Oh man.
He'll know what to do.
Wait, okay. But so they don't like each other though. That's what I heard. Is Kellic and Ringelrun? They're not buddies.
So you two are like totally in a family feud, huh?
Kinda appears to be so. Kellic
Survey
used to run around
says.
with Ringelrun. Or at least I thought he did. They must have parted company on bad terms.
Hmm.
And now it seems as though he's found his new wizard friend.
We know where where Zabilna fits in with all of this then?
Well,
He's the rightful ruler here.
I'll interrupt you here so that Skyla can tell you the whole story, basically.
Okay.
So she'll tell you that she joined up with the League of Malevolence like some years ago. She was with them prior to her declaring Baba Yaga as her patron. And so Kellic has always, from the time that she's known him, always been obsessed with Ringelrun. Almost obsessively so, as if there was some unholy rivalry or a jealousy. Like he coveted Ringelrun's power. And this sort of is manifested in Kellic's mind that if he has Ringelrun's staff, that he will be kind of the top wizard, or he will have ascended to his level of power. And so they kind of chased each other around a bit across different planes, in these little skirmishes for some time. But it all culminated here at the Palace of Heart's Desire because Kellic learned Zabilna's true identity and there must be something scandalous about it because his plan was to come here and blackmail to get the staff. Like he was going to force her to basically engage in a fey bargain for him to get it. It was during the time that this plan was coming together that Skyla accepted Baba Yaga as her patron. And it would appear that Baba Yaga didn't want any harm to come to her favored daughter, her adopted daughter. And Skyla brought Ringelrun and his crew here to oppose the League. And so there was a big battle that happened here between Ringelrun's group is called Valor's Call. And so there was a battle that happened here at the palace between those two sides, the League of Malevolence and Valor's Call. It was in the chaos of the battle when the Hourglass Coven decided that they could do something about Zybilnia, and so they used her cauldron to place the enchantment that froze everything here. So they just took advantage of a situation and decided to... It didn't seem that they were really willing to allow Kellic necessarily to have the staff right away, and so they've been dangling it as a carrot for him. If he did a good job keeping Zybilnia under wraps here, that they would allow him to take the staff. But it would appear that he has grown impatient and decided he was going to seek out the means to undo everything on his own.
Okay.
And so that was Skyla's part of this was that when she caught wind that they were looking for a unicorn's horn, she acquired that one from those merchants and kept it safe and was trying to evade them as well as the coven. So basically she's an ally. She's in allegiance as by proxy with Zybilnia. She wants to see her back.
Okay.
Do we think Zybilnia is frozen in time too, or is she just...
Yes.
So what we would have to do, if I understand this correct, is we'd have to acquire Cornhorn, speak Zybilnia's name, and touch her with it in order to bring her back.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And we do have a few names. Zybilnia, Tasha.
A true name, it said, get effed.
She's gonna go and look in there. She's gonna look in her, what do you call it? Because she's gonna look like, hold on. And like, she's gonna open up a little hatch in her armor. And like sketched. She kind of sketched it in on top and closed it. And she's gonna look and go, if you know, then why didn't you unfreeze her? Before she says the name.
Skyla doesn't know.
Oh,
Kellic knows.
okay.
Or Kellic
Well.
claims to know.
All right. Well, either way, she's not going to say it out loud. She's going to close her little armor. She's going to just pat it and go, mm-hmm.
So you do know?
Mm-hmm. She's going to go like that and show you real quick.
Just say question mark on it?
No, it's kind of in cat scratch, but I'll say it, but it's like written, like etched.
So
in.
he's not actually saying this out loud. I'm reading
No.
it off a piece of paper.
It says Iggle
Wiles.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Igwilv?
She's getting
Do we think one of us should learn how to pronounce this before we try?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, but that's how you spell it. That was way off.
Yeah. Iggle. I got it pretty much right, except for I added an E. Not too bad.
It's Lego, my ego. Igwilv. Okay.
I was going to type it in to show like how I would have spelled it, but it would have come up as Sylvan, so you'd have no idea.
I would know.
It's true.
Okay, so we know. So now we just have to get the unicorn horn. We have to run to Zybilnia, and we have to be like, boom, here's your real name. Touch unicorn horn. Back to life. She zip zap zoop zoop zip zappity zaps. Everybody grants us wishes. We go home.
In theory.
I like Arlo's plan.
It's so quick and precise. Didn't even
Mhm.
talk
In
about
theory.
all those other things that have to happen, like
Nope. it
help
just-
all these people.
We would be helping people. Like, our wishes would encompass helping all these other people.
Oh,
Probably,
that's
huh?
true.
So,
Just Zabilna being free should be helpful for most everybody, I would think. Like Will and Tree and Clapperclaw and all those that we've met along the way that we now come to trust and miss greatly.
So,
Here.
what do you say,
given-
Skyla? Can you fight?
Skyla says, well,
Let's fight.
not to put another wrench into your plans, but there is something else that you should be aware of. Maybe it's a good thing, but it's a complication. And that is that there is one thing that Kellic fears, and it's the only reason why he may not have yet acquired the staff. I think I'm getting a buzzing from somebody. I don't know.
Oh, I wonder if it's me.
There's one thing that one reason why he probably hasn't made a move to acquire Ringle Run staff, and that is the Jabberwock.
Does the Jabberwock belong to Papa?
No.
Does the Jabberwock have the staff?
No, but it is prowling around the castle. And it tends
Okay.
to lair on the northern end of the castle where this Ringle Run is, as well as Zabilnia.
See. So what you're saying is I have to modify my plan with a Jabberwock-sized wrench, and I have to say, we find Kellic, we get the unicorn horn, we defeat the Jabberwock, we freeze the Bilna,
And
we
Ringle
make
Run.
our
Hang on.
wishes, we go
Papa.
home.
Well, eventually, Kellic's got to get to Zabilnia, which means he's got to face the Jabberwock too. We just got to time it.
Maybe he could make it so he doesn't have to, he didn't have to face Endelin or whatever to get the thing back, get the unicorn horn, which we would have thought we might have had to do, like he managed to do it just the right time when everybody was distracted. That clever guy.
Mm-hmm. We need eyes on Kellic.
Yeah, well, definitely one of our first next steps needs to be to find Kellic, right?
And I'm just going to use the chat to come up with my bullet points of what information I'm supposed to be telling you or suggesting. There's a little rumbling around in your bag, Arlo. Pincushion sticks his head out, and he says, "So when you do all those things, like you said, Arlo, what happens then?"
We make our wishes and we go home.
Oh, what is your wish going?
My wish is going to be that I can get this coffin back without impacting your current animated state.
Huh?
So you, me, the coffin, and the rocking horse are going to go back to Waterdeep.
Oh, I'm going to come with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to teach you monk skills. And we'll open a sewing shop.
Yes.
Awesome.
I really want that, Arlo. You're going to do
Make your
this.
own
You're going to be
tools.
great. I
We're gonna
believe in
open
you.
Yeah, we're going to open a tailor shop or whatever. Or maybe not a tailor shop. Maybe we'll open like a costume design shop.
Oh, I like that. It won't be like
The
what I had
theaters.
before, right? With like all the people in like rows and really long hours.
It'll
We're gonna-
literally just be you and all of the fabric in the world. Well, in Waterdeep, and then people will come and they'll have to pay you a bunch of money to get costumes made for the plays they put on. It's gonna be awesome.
Okay, I'll give you the money then.
Sure, we'll give it to charity.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
And then
that's
the
what we're gonna do.
squirt's just jumping up and down on your head, Vish. Oh boy, how about me? You gonna be plans for me too, Vish?
Well, I know I've been kind of. I don't want to make. What do you want to do? Do you want to stick around and be my?
I want to slick around.
You want to slick around? No,
That's the
don't do
funniest
that.
Oilcan ever.
It's funny.
Because of
wanna
oil.
see-
It's like,
Get it? Yeah, that's real good. What do you think, there, Grandpapa? That was funny, huh?
the sooner that you get me away from this smelling thing and you get me to be a normal-sized man again, the better.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a goal? Were we doing that?
I don't want to be a tiny man for the rest of my life.
Okay, that definitely.
Thanks for the jams, man.
That could be your wish.
That's good. You think that you can face this Kellic, and he's your brother, isn't he?
That they're talking to you?
Yeah, yeah. He's my brother. I can face him.
What does this mean to face him? Did you talk to him, maybe? Make he's reasonable guy.
I will start with that. We usually just argue.
What is he like when you knew him?
Competitive. He kept trying to be better than he met. Mom always said, just be yourself. But he kept trying to do more and more and more. He always wanted more.
I see.
So
Well,
I'll
we
try
start-
to talk
Go
to
ahead.
him.
I think while we all were talking, Fish would automatically just sit down and try to start resting, whether she's able to or not. She's just gonna sit down for a
Yeah,
second.
if you guys want to take an
Mm.
hour and take a short rest, no problem.
Seriously, I just like Wingle Run and Kellic and Sky here and all of us. I just wish we could all just get along. She flops down.
Maybe when Sibylnia's out, maybe that'll help correct some things.
The bear is just like, hey guys, that was real wow, that fight with the rug and the guy that almost killed you.
I'm out.
I'm just a bear. He's just my friend. You think people will just wait here by the car? Well, let's stay by the car. How about that?
Sounds fair to me.
So they're gonna hunker down by the carriage.
Did you say your name was Bear?
Oh man, that was a couple pages ago. Let's see.
That's a fun name.
My name's Paige.
Couple pages.
Or was he even in the book? I don't remember.
Just could have just said Bear.
Yeah, his name's Jeff.
Jeff.
That's nice. I was laughing earlier because I was like, Endgame, and we have a freaking bear that got lost his voice while trying to eat a fish. I was like, of
Can you
course.
remind me how you
I
feel on a
forget.
short rest?
What's that?
How do you heal on a short rest? I don't remember.
Use hit die. So
At the bottom of the main page of your character sheet, there should be hit die, and you can just drag and drop those onto to the rolling panel on the left there, and it should auto apply those hit points to you, I think.
And how many can I burn? Like up to half?
You could use them all, but you can only get half of them back on a short rest, or on a long rest. I mean,
Yep.
so if you use them all now, we'll only have half available to you after our next long rest.
Gotcha. I used 3. Okay, that's considerably better.
oh, and I've been ignoring chat. Thank you, Lyra, for the cheer. We appreciate
Oh.
that. Hope you're
Yes, thank you.
hope we're entertaining with you while you endure some pain. It sounds like.
Alright, 18 to 30. That's better.
All right.
For a second, I thought I had lost damage, but that's just the turn order. So I was like, when did I take 12 damage?
All right.
Yeah, we rolled above 5s today. Yes.
So what would you like to do from here?
Sounds like we know where she is now.
Yeah, you got a general idea of where Zybilnia and Ringelrun are.
We could.
Probably want to defeat Kellic, right? So we don't leave anything behind us.
I'm a little worried about his tools. Like, I'm looking forward to killing the people on my list. Where'd that wizard go?
Oh dear.
Yeah, him too.
I want to get along with everybody except the people on the kill list. Yeah.
I
So I think we
guess-
make our way to. Was it the North Tower?
Northwest.
I'm gonna peek through this door. I'm gonna open it. I'm gonna get one of the mini pebbles I have, and I'm just gonna throw it, like chuck it as far as I can, and I'm just gonna go
This
hello,
way?
hello, 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 hello. If anything pops up or anything,
Just down this way?
yeah, throwing
Okay.
it with my voice.
No, you don't hear anything. Nothing responds.
Okay.
Might be a good place to start then, maybe.
All right. So if you're making your way down this hall here,
Whoa.
basically there are stairs to the right here that seem to go up. And they kind of turn to the right or turn to the left at the top there where the arrow is. That would take you onto a different map.
Mhm.
To the left
Is-
here
I-
are double doors. Looks like 3 sets of double doors. There is a hallway that opens up here. And I'll just move you down there so you can see there's a spiraling staircase that leads up, and also a pair of double doors just around the corner there.
Mhm.
And then at the very end of the hallway, you came all the way down, you would see that there are more double doors choices.
Moving Maple's token really isn't revealing anything for me.
Oh, it's. I'm the only
Yeah,
one
me
seeing
neither.
that.
Oh, I only grabbed one.
Sorry.
Sorry, this takes forever and a day because this is just...
Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about
No
it.
worries.
I could. It's no biggie.
We'll see it when we see it.
Yeah.
I guess while that's doing its thing, it looks like I guess there's windows. Could Lim like check out what's outside the windows along the walls on the right side?
Yes.
Oh, dear.
So you look out there, and it's going to be a little bit difficult, but you can't see like everything entirely that is out there. Well, actually, maybe from here you can. You can see probably more than you could in the earlier hall. So looking out the window, what you see is sort of hard for your brain to comprehend, but there is basically this vortex. It looks like it is open air in there. So like you're looking into like maybe what you would have expected to be like an inner courtyard or something like that, but it's like a nighttime sky overhead there. So it's not at all what it was outside, where it's nice and bright and cheery. Here it is dark, twilight sky, and what you're seeing roiling up from the below you is this dark vortex of clouds that just churns like you're in the eye of a hurricane or something like that, like electricity shooting out and just like this howling void. And what you can see up, so this is up. So imagine you're looking up maybe some at least 30 feet up. You just see shards of stone that are kind of like frozen up there, almost like there's some damage that has happened to that inner spire up above at the top of it. And you see like a body that is like, it's like a knight. It's an armored knight that's just suspended, frozen, like he was shot out, like he was probably at the impact point and thrown from the tower, and so he's just being hurled from the tower. He's still got his sword in hand, and he's just like mid-air with all the debris from that shatter point. Like if time unfroze, this guy is dropping and he's just gonna fall into that vortex.
And so, okay, so he's frozen, but the vortex itself is moving.
Yeah, so the vortex is like down below you, and like the eye of the vortex like is where the power even comes up from. Like there's no floor. When you look out there, there's nothing that's holding anything up. That's what makes it kind of bizarre. And so this tower spire just like rises up out of the vortex from some kind of magical maelstrom down below.
Okay, that is wild.
That's cool.
It's wild and cool.
So the lightning, the clouds, and the vortex are moving, but the stone pieces and the night are not.
That dude is in
Correct.
serious trouble.
Yeah,
You're going-
almost like the
Yeah.
vortex. The vortex is like out of range of the enchantment.
We might be able to help him, but we just got to put that on the list, really. Whew. Is where he is dangerous? Like, if I was to be in the same area he's in, would I be in danger?
Make a perception check.
Okay. Oh,
It's
We
a
have
little.
on the 16.
Oh, you do have rerolls if you want to use a reroll.
Reroll.
I will.
Do
See
it.
if I
We
can
have a
save
lot.
this guy with a reroll. I'm traditionally not very good with those. Yep, like 3 to a 5.
Like the storm itself doesn't seem to reach up that high. So you don't think probably in any danger if you were able to fly up there?
If we get, I can grab him and get him to a safe spot before we trigger any events. We can help him. You can help him.
Yeah, just be careful.
I didn't mean now.
Oh, I thought you meant right now.
How far away is he? Is he like 100 feet up?
It's a good question. I'm gonna say like 30 to 40 feet up.
Okay.
So it's like certainly like a second full level up.
Okay.
And then the
Are we
tower
eventually-
probably goes at least another 40 to 50 up above that. And so this
Well,
spire that you're looking at would be the central spire from that main image that I showed you at the beginning, like the illustration of the
Mhm.
castle.
That's within range. Cover me, guys.
Now,
And
there's just a
Right.
small point here is that this window doesn't open or anything. However, we'll just say it's a kind of a gimme that you probably know, like maybe these doors back here that lead out is like a turret that you could go and step off of.
okay. You guys want to follow me so you can cover me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
let's save this guy. And then from the turret, when we're positioned, I'll crouch down and launch up and fly up to him.
All right. Fantasy ground suit.
You can do it.
An attempt to calculate the vision Fantasy Grounds is having
Uh
problems.
huh. There are too many
Poor
little
thing.
slots, huh? Too many
Mhm.
slits.
So Maple, you go and you fly up there. Give me a dexterity saving throw as you start flying out there.
I sure will. I have advantage on those because I'm a barbarian, which brings me to a 12.
I'm
Okay.
going
Rerolls?
to use a reaction to give you an additional 4 points with my flash of genius skill.
Okay.
So now you're sitting at a 16.
Sitting at a 16. As you fly up there, you get the 16, and once in a while there's a little lick of lightning that churns up from the vortex, but you kind of dive and do a barrel roll, and you're doing all these tricks in the air as you're flying up there. I'm going to share a map with you because this is representing exactly where you go, Maple. As you fly up there to that part of the tower where the wall has exploded. You kind of are flying through carefully through those fragments that are hanging in the air, and you move over there, and let's see. Can I find an image of the knight real quick? Just because it's fun to show these.
The artwork in this book for
Mhm.
good things.
Great.
There he is.
Oh,
Why does he have wings on his helmet?
I like the blue.
On his back.
So he's suspended there. And when you look over to where the wall has exploded out from, you can see into the tower. And there you can see a knight with a sword that is wreathed in flame standing. And behind him, some distance, sitting on a throne, is your brother, who's got he's got a leash that has like 3 tethers attached to which are 3 cockatrices that are just sitting there kind of as pets. And he's holding in his hand his staff, kind of stroking his beard, and he says, "Ha ha ha! Little sister! I had a feeling I might see you here. Come, come! I think that we have many things to discuss." And at 9:48, that's probably a good stopping point for the session. As you see, Kellogg just sitting. He's probably even got the unicorn horn in his hand and just kind of toying with it covetously. Finally acquired this thing.
Found him.
So we'll pick it up there next time to
Yep.
see what Maple's reaction is and whether we have a little conversation that happens here. And you can reunite with your brother, your half-brother. So,
How do family reunions go? Always good, right?
Yeah. So excited.
well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us here.
Well, shit.
Thank you, Alex. That was a lot of fun.
I'm I guess I wasn't expecting us to get probably it was nice that you went and flew out there. Because that's a much cooler ending point than probably what would have ended up happening if you just progressed forward. So cool. We're gonna see here. I guess if these are our last few episodes, I don't know. I was thinking maybe it was 2 episodes, but after tonight, maybe there's 2 more. Is what I'm gonna guess. So these are the final episodes of Wild Beyond the Witchlight. If you've enjoyed watching these, be sure to catch the last couple here. Tuesdays we go live at 7:30. If you're not able to catch one, you can of course always check it out on our YouTube channel that in the chat. Subscribe there and see our videos when they get uploaded. You can also come and hang out with us in our Discord server, so I'll throw that up in the chat as well. If you'd like to come and hang out with us in between the streams. So let's go and see if we've got some friends that are rolling here tonight.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll do
Thank you very much.
a raid over to Rage Cage Rugger. I haven't stopped by to see her in a bit, so we'll do that. All right, thanks everybody. We will see you all soon.
Goodbye.
Buys.